Live. I should be live. Let's see if I am live. Am I live? Let's see. Let's see if I am live. Come on, please. Am I live? I'm refreshing it right now. Am I live? Yes, there we go. I'm live. Hello, everybody. I am back. We're back and we're ready to do it all over again. We're back for the 2026 Formula One season, which is going to get underway next week. No, not next week. Next month, I should say. In just under a month. But today I'm going to be watching the last hour of testing. You can see on your right what the current timings are. Oh wait, no, you can't actually. I just realized that. That's me looking at the driver's standings. Okay, there we go. That should be it. So that should be the driver's standing, the current standings right next to you guys, right on the right there. So Lando Norris is currently on top of the session. Of course, we are going to officially today see the Audi and Cadillac cars on track for the first time in approximately 2 minutes time. Because for some reason the FIA and the F1 teams are being very secretive around the cars, and they're like, okay, no, you're not going to be able to show your cars. We're not going to show our cars fully this week. We're only going to show them for like an hour, even though there's been sessions since this morning. So it's a bit ridiculous, but hey, oh, that's the way it is. Hang on, just gonna... Hang on. Okay, I think that should be it done. Right, yes, so they're currently going through adverts at the moment, but it should be on in a minute, and then we can really have a look and see what's happening. So currently, as you guys can see on the right, the standings look like this. So it's Lando Norris that is currently leading the session, and this is, remember, this is just testing. These aren't the actual times of the car. I don't think that Aston Martin, Alpine, or Cadillac will be 5 seconds slower than anyone else, but I could be wrong on that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's on. It's on. Testing's on. It's currently at like a screen where it's just saying Sky Sports. Here we go. Is this what the intro is, or is this an advert before the intro? Like brought to you by Audi or something like that. Audi sponsors Formula One. It's a good one, to be fair. Let's see. Here it is! F1's back! F1's back! Let's go! Woo! F1's back! Yes! I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited. There's the McLaren. The McLaren's out on track, guys. The McLaren's out on track. Norris is just... Piastri, sorry, he's just come out of the pits. I think it's Piastri. It's the last hour of testing for day one. And we are here. Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. Alex Jakes and Alex Brundle on commentary as well. Great duo for the Formula One duo, the Formula 2 duo. So yeah, as you guys can see, Lando Norris is currently top of the times, ahead of Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Esteban Ocon, Lewis Hamilton, Alex Albon, Arvid Lindblad, Nico Hulkenberg in the new Audi, Carlos Sainz, then Gabriel Bortoleto, Perez and Bottas in the Cadillac, and then Gasly, Stroll, and Colapinto. They're the only... Oh my goodness, that car looks nice. That Cadillac does look really nice. I have to say, this looks absolutely... Oh my gosh, that Cadillac looks amazing. The white and the black, they merged beautifully. There's the Ferrari, which it doesn't look that great, but that car looks really nice. It reminds me of funnily enough, a car Sergio Perez drove, the 2012 Sauber. It reminds me a bit of that. It looks so cool though. The Cadillac. It looks so nice. And it's quite good to see it out on track for the first time, because we haven't seen it out on track before. So there you go. It's amazing to see the F1 cars on track. I just realized barely anybody's going to be watching because it's prime time. Everybody's at school. Bortoleto. Oh, that Audi looks nice as well, to be fair. But it's so weird seeing like the Williams logo different, seeing the Cadillac logo, and also seeing the Audi logo. So strange. But yeah, Bortoleto had a mechanical problem earlier on in the day. So did Colapinto, I believe. Spin for Hamilton at turn 1. Not great. Yeah, this is going to be a very testing year for him. Oh my goodness, he spun once and then he almost spun again at turn 10. But yeah, there we go. I've got times up now. I don't think I'll be able to actually like share like my screen on the other end, but I'll see if I can. Let's see, will it let me? No, okay, it doesn't. I didn't think it would. It's not letting me share my screen on Sky Go, so we'll just watch it from here. But yeah, it's so good that F1's back on track. There's an hour left, as I said. There's only going to be 1 hour each day this week, but then next week it's going to be on all day. So I am going to be there, okay? Like, I have nothing to do next week. I've got reading week for university, so I have got all week off. And I will be there. I will be there to watch this. But here's Kimi Antonelli. And the thing is, Antonelli was out very briefly, I heard, and then he had an issue. Is he back out on track now, or is he still in the pits? Because he was out on track very briefly, and then he came into the pits, and we haven't seen him at all apparently today. I think he had an out lap, and then that was it. Is he on track? Let's have a little look. Is he? He is. Antonelli is out on track. Yeah, because he's in 12th now. He's gone up to 12th. So Antonelli's finally getting some laps in today after sitting around, not really doing much, horsing around a bit. So there's the rules and regulations. Approximately half electric power, half internal combustion engine. The MGU-H has been removed, and the MGU-K, which is the kinetic unit, has been increased from 120 kilowatts to 350, and all the cars are running on 100% sustainable fuel. So the MGU-H is the heat, motor generative unit heat. Now the MGU-K has more power. So the MGU-H was needed for part of the natural engine, whereas now it doesn't, because it's half internal combustion engine, half electric power. So for it to run better, the MGU-K needed more power for the car to actually be quick. So this is going to be interesting, because we're getting more electric now with Formula 1. I remember a few years ago, I was like, Formula E and F1 will merge one day. I don't know if it ever will happen, but we'll see. We'll see. But it's so good that F1 cars are back on track. It's so fun, and I absolutely love this. Just seeing the cars on track, there's an excitement about it, you know, and I can't wait for this season, because we've got 2 new teams on, a rebranded team and a brand new team on the grid. We've got different power units now. We've got Ford and Honda, different teams. And we've got the Audi team, who are now on screen, and honestly, their car, the front of it looks nice, the back of it not as much, but it's so amazing just to see Audi in F1. You know, the last time they were involved in motor racing in what is a version of any version of Formula 1 was I less said about it the better. Now there's a boost mode. That's right, they got rid of DRS, didn't they? So it gives driver maximum power from the battery at the push of a button, can be used anywhere on track for both attack and defense, and can be used at the same time as overtake mode, which is really good, because overtake mode is what is used to give them even more power. Overtake mode is what they had before, during the turbo hybrid era. Now they have a proper power mode, which puts it up a level even more. So yeah, overtake mode gives extra power to aid overtaking. During a race, this will be made available when the driver's under a second. So overtake mode has been enhanced, basically. Overtake mode used to be a button to give the car more power, but this is now basically the version of DRS. Overtake mode allows a driver to sustain a higher speed for a longer period of time. In practice and qualifying, this function is freely available, which is exactly what DRS used to be like. DRS, believe it or not, used to be you could press it anywhere on the track in practice and qualifying. But I think in 2013 they got rid of that. 2012 or 2013 they got rid of that, and made it so you can only use it. You couldn't use it anywhere basically except the DRS zones. So it's gonna be interesting this year with overtake mode. See how it ends up. There's Charles Leclerc out on track. Of course, in the off season he got engaged, and he's got the wee doggy. I can't remember his name. Is it Leo? Is that his dog's name? Something like that. But he's gonna be hoping Ferrari can get a good start to the new regulations, although the last couple haven't really gone to plan for them. 2021 they were on the back foot. They finished third in the constructors, basically best of the rest between them and McLaren, and then after that you had your Alpines, your Aston Martins, your Haas's and your Alfa Romeos. Haas were right at the back that year, sorry. And then before that you had 2014 where they were like nowhere. they were struggling to get podiums. But this is the second year where Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc are going to be teammates, and it's going to be fascinating to see how they get on, because they had a decent start as teammates. It was more so how can I put it, the communication in the team that was poor on the track. And also, just the car designing in general was poor. They didn't win last year. Only Mercedes, McLaren, and Red Bull won. Mercedes won once with Russell, and then McLaren won most of the races. They won, I think it was 14, and then Max Verstappen won 8 races, because both of McLarens won 7 races each. But there's the Red Bull. And that looks stunning, I have to say. That Red Bull, it reminds me of the 2014 car when Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo were driving for the team. It looks beautiful. I don't know what it is, but at the start of each regulation change, the Red Bull looks amazing. And it looks amazing. It's so interesting to see with Ford Power how they're going to end up. And, Perez has had a big lock up there. To be fair, he's not been in an F1 car for a year, so I don't blame him. Don't blame Bottas if he's making errors either, because he's not been in an F1 car enough. Same with Lindblad, to be fair. But then again, these are new regulations. This is new ground for all of the drivers and all of the teams, because we've never had a half electric Formula 1 car before. We've had parts of the car being hybrid. We've had 2 different periods of a turbo hybrid, turbocharged car, the first being in the late 70s and early and mid 80s, which was from 1977 or so, when Renault re-entered the sport. That was when Renault entered the sport. They had a turbo hybrid engine, and that was when the turbo hybrid era began, and it ended in 1988, at the end of 1988. So basically, that was the first era, and then the second era began in 2014 and ended this year. This is no longer a turbo hybrid era. This is a half and half. So you could argue it's a slight continuation, but it's a very different engine to what it was before. There is Alex Albon's Williams, very blue, and I love the rebrand of the logo to go back to what it was back in the late 70s and early 80s, when Alan Jones, Loli Reutemann, and Derek Daly and Keke Rosberg, Jacques Lafitte were driving for the team. It's so cool. Clay Regazzoni as well. It was that team was a very, very, a growing team at that time. They'd only been in F1 a couple years, and they were already winning Grand Prix and winning championships because of Patrick Head's genius engineering. And Williams, they're very much in the same thing now. They're slowly rising up again after a long, long time in decline, from sort of 2017 to 2021, 2022, I'd even say, hell, 2023 you could argue as well. They were even the year before last, they were really struggling. But last year, Carlos Sainz got 2 podiums. Alex Albon was scoring points consistently. Albon probably should have had at least a podium last year, but Sainz had a really good second half of the season. Albon was consistent throughout the year, but he was better in the first half of the season. Okay, here's the recharging rules and regulations. There's 4. Under braking, they can recharge it. They can recharge by overloading the throttle in corners, lifting off early, and harvesting power. So basically, the usual ones, which are, you know, that's the way you harvest energy. That is the way you harvest energy. Under braking, by lifting off, or basically by harvesting power using different energy modes while at 100% throttle. So, I mean, you see that in Formula E. You see a lot of recharging and harvesting of energy so they can get to the end of races. I don't think it's not going to be the case here, but it will be fascinating to see if there are any teething problems with, say, the battery. Sorry, that's the fire alarm. Hang on. It's not letting me load this. I have no idea how the stream is actually going. Am I still going? Are we still live? Is there any technical issues? Hang on. Just inserted a bit of F1 into the news tonight, so we're all set. Yay! In case you don't know, everybody, Mr. Storm, aka Mr. Luke, is going to be on his local news channel, his local radio tonight. Cavan and Monaghan, Northern Sound, I believe it's called, which is pretty cool. Active Aero. Front and rear wing elements are dynamically adjusted by the driver between FIA designated corner and straight mode sections of the track. And by the way, this is like super cool because there was footage you could see of Hamilton doing it in Misano, not in Misano, oh my god, what's it called? The Ferrari test track, Fiorano, doing little checks and tests of it, and it looked so cool. And so I'm looking forward to that as well. Honestly, there's so much to be excited about in 2026. Even if it ends up being a team dominating, it'll be cool to see new teams, new engines, a new driver in Lindblad, returning drivers in Bottas and Perez. Whilst there's not really been any driver changes apart from Lindblad and, as I said, Perez and Bottas coming back, it's still going to be an exciting season, and I can't wait. Sainz is, it's Albon, sorry, is currently out on track, putting the laps in. I don't think there's been much of a change in the timing order, although I'm going to have a little check of that. There has been a bit of a change. Antonelli's gone up a few positions, but you got to remember, this right here is basically, it's almost meaningless. It's just testing. It's not very meaningful. Don't really read into the times because I think you'll have to wait until the end of next week to really get an idea of who's looking good and who isn't. I mean, you got to remember last year, Sainz was the quickest in testing, and the year before that, he was the quickest in testing as well. And Ferrari were pretty good in 2024, but they should have won the constructors, but they didn't. But last year, Williams were 4th, I think, fifth in the they were fifth in the constructors. And, you know, they were fighting for podiums every now and then, but they weren't that quick. So you don't really read into testing fully, but you do read into it a little bit. You know, you keep an eye on it, you monitor it. That Aston Martin looks nice, I have to say. From that angle, it looks quite nice. I love that. I am always a sucker for British Racing Green, even though I am definitely not British. I just love the color Lotus. And I love this Red Bull, the numbering, the way the number looks. It reminds me so much of 2014, man. The Sebastian Vettel having number 1 and Daniel Ricciardo having number 3. And Verstappen's got number 3 now. Oh my god, it's so cool. I love it. It's so cool. Gasly's just gone up to 10th, so he's set a decent time. And it's so cool to have Ford back, man. Cosworth, you need to get onto the phone to them. If they have underperforming engines, you guys need to come in and do some stuff with them, alright? Please. Because I want you guys back as well. I want you guys back Ford's back, but they haven't got Cosworth, and they haven't been they won one championship without Cosworth, and that was in 95 with Benetton. 94 with Benetton, sorry. 95 they had Renault Power. So it's so good to have Ford back. It's so nice to have Audi here. Cadillac, albeit with Ferrari engines for now. And that's the thing, Bottas will be used to Ferrari engines, because of course in the last couple of years when he was at Sauber, he was in Ferrari engines. So he'll already be used to Ferrari's engines, albeit these are a different breed because of course the regulation changes. But he'll still be used to the sort of acceleration, I suppose, of it. Because whilst a lot of the powertrain has changed, some of it's still the same. Because they've still got an internal combustion engine. Okay, here's the rules and regulations about the chassis. The cars are smaller and lighter to make them more agile and responsive. Downforce and drag have been reduced whilst tires have become narrower. And this was a big thing because by the end of last year, no cars could overtake each other. The dirty air was abysmal. And cars were too fat, basically. Now, they remind me of the 2000s, those cars. When you look at them, you're like, oh my goodness, you know, that reminds me of the 2000s, back when Montoya was driving, back when prime Michael Schumacher was around, when a young Kimi Räikkönen was around, you know? And it's really cool. I love that. It's good to have a different looking car. So still got another 19 minutes. We're 19 minutes into this 1 hour, and still Norris is on top, but Max Verstappen has just come out on track. He was out on track a minute or two ago, but he's come in for a change of tires, and now he's back onto the track. And we're here at it's on Bahrain. I'm obviously not in Bahrain, as you can tell. I'm in my flat in Edinburgh, because I'm living in Edinburgh now, in case you didn't know, because I'm in university. But yeah, it's so nice to see a different car, different liveries. Some of the cars look very similar. I mean, Ferrari and Aston Martin, you're always going to get a red and a green car. With a lot of them, you know what you're going to get. But it's the way that they're presented, whether it's matte or gloss. You know, there's the Alpine, which I think is... don't really like it. Pink and blue doesn't really fit me, personally. When it came to the Barbenheimer sensation, I was more likely to be on the Heimer part of it. So there you go. Alpine now have Mercedes engines, of course. Renault aren't in F1 anymore, because... But there's so many changes, which is why they're having a whistle-stop tour of it, as Alex Jakes is saying on commentary. And we do have to get used to... We have to get used to different terms, different drivers, different teams, different numbers. You know, there's so many different things. You know, it's different ideas around things. You know, because there's going to be loads of different terms that are going to change. You know, like full steam ahead doesn't apply as much anymore because because it's only half internal combustion engine. It's not even a majority internal combustion engine, so you can't say full steam ahead properly. Because, I mean, that term literally originates from the train, which had an internal combustion engine. But it's crazy when you think about it, because Formula 1 wouldn't exist without James Watt. Think about that for a second. The internal combustion engine, James Watt became an innovator of that. And he was from Scotland. Also, the television was invented by a Scottish guy as well. So was the telephone. It's amazing what Scottish people do. It's a bit like, it's when Scottish people do great things, they get labelled British, and when they do bad things, they're labelled as Scottish. I always remember Andy Murray, when he won, he was called British, and when he lost, he was called Scottish. But yes, 20 minutes into testing. Gasly's currently in 8th for Alpine. The order is currently, as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, I think, if it's working. Okay, no, I'll have to refresh it. Give me a second. So, currently the order is Lando Norris in 1st, Max Verstappen in 2nd, then in 3rd, Charles Leclerc, 4th, Oscar Piastri, 5th, George Russell, then it's Esteban Ocon, Lewis Hamilton, Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, Kimi Antonelli, Arvid Lindblad, Nico Hulkenberg, Carlos Sainz, Gabriel Bortoleto, Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, and Franco Colapinto. So today, 7 of the 11 teams, 7-11, will be having both their drivers out on track, except for Red Bull, Aston Martin, Racing Bulls, and Haas, because Hadjar, Alonso, Lawson, and Behrman are having the day off. So they'll be going in the car tomorrow. So Ocon's on a lap at the moment. He's half a second down on Norris with 1 sector to go. I think he's going to improve here. I think he might be able to get up into the top 5. He is currently in 6th. McLaren are trying to figure out how they change the front wing angle. There goes Ocon into 4th. So pretty decent from him. The times currently are 1:34.6. Now the pole lap from last year was a year's pole time was a 1:29, so they're about 10 seconds off at the minute, but you gotta remember this is only testing. Oh no, so 1:34, sorry, so they're 5 seconds off. And if you look at testing from last year, let's have a little look. 2025 testing. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what the times were. Doesn't actually say, which is rather annoying. But Carlos Sainz set the quickest time in testing last year. I don't know what time it was, but let's see. Here we go. So Sainz was quickest with a 1:29.3, and the times at the moment are in the 1:34. So currently they're 5 seconds down on what they were in 2025. But you got to remember, as I said, this is only the first day. We're in the night time, so it's going to be a bit slower because the tires aren't going to be as warm and heated, and also different cars, so they're going to be a little bit slower to begin with. If I had to guess, I'd probably say that the fastest these cars would go would be a 32 or or maybe a 31. I've heard that they're 2 or 3 seconds slower a lap, but I don't think that we're really going to get to see the best of the cars until next week. I think 33s, 32s, 31s, that'll probably be where the cars are. At the moment, Norris is on top, as I said, with a 34.6. So McLaren continuing their form from last year. I just realised it is. So, currently, as I said, Norris first. Perez is on a lap and 4.3 seconds slower. But as I said, you know, you don't really look into laps. It's more so just them getting used to the track. Again, getting used to the new cars. It's so good to see Checo back in F1. It's good for Mexico. Good for good for North American racing, because now we've got 2 North American drivers on the grid again. And in a very rare scenario, the Mexicans are wanting the American team to do well. Because usually those two are quite... they're in a rivalry, I suppose, aren't they? But that's a political thing as well. So there's Ferrari. They're just vibing. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So we've got 5 different engine manufacturers. We've got 4 with Mercedes, 3 with Audi, 2 with Ford, and 1 with Honda and Audi. So Mercedes have McLaren themselves, Williams and Alpine. Ferrari have Ferrari, Haas and Cadillac. Red Bull have Red Bull, Ford have Racing Bulls and Red Bull. Honda have Aston Martin, and Audi have, of course, their factory team. And I cannot wait for that. Shout out to my homie Alan McNish. My homie, I don't know why I said my homie. Speaking of, there's Audi there. My homie Alan McNish for signing up Freddie Slater for the F3 for the Audi Driver Academy program, because they've got one of the best youngsters out there on their hands. Damn, that Audi. From the front, it looks really nice, and then you look at the side and you're like, oh god, that's a bit too red. But it's nice to see Audi in Formula 1, as I said earlier. So cool. So cool. So cool. It's quite bare bones, though. There's not a load of sponsors. on the car. But to be fair, when you're Audi, you're making loads of money from selling your cars, and also you're a part of, one of the biggest automobile groups out there, then you don't mind that. I mean, they're not the only. Let's see if there's an update in the times. Oh yeah, there we go. There's Ocon updated. So now we're going to see how fast the car can go on the straights. Just listening to the car for the first time. Tell you what, I'll unmute it just for a minute. Just listen to that, guys. $196 mph he hit on the straight there. That does sound quite nice. Sounds nicer than I thought it would. An Audi power unit. First time I've seen an Audi on track in a single-seater since the Formula E days when they had René Rast, Lucas di Grassi, Daniel Apps driving for them. Did they have anybody else? No, I think it was just those three that drove for them. In Audi's entire Formula E history, they only had those three driving for them. It's crazy. 196, as I said, was the max top speed I hit on the straight, which is a lot of speed. I think he was just having a little go, and now he's slowed it down. I'm glad that the sound of the engine isn't as bad as people were making it out to be. We're halfway through now. The first, the last hour of the first day. And currently, it is looking very good for McLaren. But for me, right, you got to look at it and you got to think the most important thing is what is right here. Tires used, the mileage. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but the mileage is the most important thing because that means you're getting data. That means you're getting information about the car. You're learning about it. In most years, it is really important, but this year it's even more important because the more laps you do, the more data you have, the more information you have for the season, and the more advantage you have on the other teams. So when you're looking at these, you're looking at the tires, the laps that they've done. You're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, who has got the most laps? So I would be looking at Esteban Ocon in the Haas. I'd be looking at Carlos Sainz in the Williams, Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. But another thing you need to remember is the drivers, you got to look at both of the drivers from each team, and then the ones that are just doing one run, you just count them as one. So for example, McLaren have done 23 laps, or used 23 different sets of tires. I don't know how many laps they've actually done. I think this is different sets of tires, sorry. But they've done a lot of laps. And it's whoever, does the most laps that really wins, to be honest, in testing. Testing is the only time where you don't need to be the quickest to have won, really. Because it's about whatever information you can get. And also, another thing. It is so strange seeing Ollie Bearman in 22nd place. We haven't had 22 cars in the F1 grid in 10 years. Last time we had 22 cars in the grid was when Manor was on the grid, along with the 10 teams we have currently. And then, of course, they basically went into administration in January 2017. So it's a shame that they left. But now we have Cadillac. Basically, the Andretti F1 program did come to fruition because Dan Torres, who runs the Cadillac TWG team, also owns the Andretti team. So Andretti and Cadillac's junior programs are basically the exact same. So Colton Herta, Sebastian Weldon, Oliver Weldon, they are all basically in the Cadillac Academy. So that's why Sebastian Weldon is doing European racing. If you don't know who Sebastian Weldon is I don't know what he's doing this year, but he was in Italian F4 last year. He did a very, very good job of it. I think he's going to be in Freca this year, but I don't actually know about that. It doesn't actually. I don't think he's doing the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy. But I don't know what he's doing apart from that yet. I think he's going to be racing in Formula Regional, the European Championship, FREC. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in that. He had a very good rookie season in Italian F4, and it's him that I want to really keep an eye out for in that championship next year, along with the likes of Keen Nakamura Berta, because they're both Formula 1 juniors. Keen Nakamura Berta is now with Williams. He was with Alpine for a few years up until 2024. Now Williams have signed him after he won Italian F4 last year. Seb Weldon had a good season in that as well. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on him and how he does this year. But Andretti in general, they're very, very prepared, I would say. Andretti and Cadillac, they're very prepared for what's going to come this year. And, I mean, I don't think they'll be as far behind as people are saying. That is my opinion. I don't know. It might age really poorly, and I hope it doesn't. I hope and pray that it doesn't age poorly. I'm having a little look at the driver lineup. Salim Hanna's another one to keep an eye out on as well. Salim Hanna's a really, really good driver. I really rate him. Yeah, Prema are going to have more than one car. So I think Seb Weldon and Nakamura Berta are going to both be at Prema next year. But in fact, that's just me. This year, I should say. But that's just me guessing. That's Formula Regional anyway. F3 and F2's grids, interestingly enough, have only really been confirmed in the last few days. So I wrote a little piece on this. So finally the Formula 3 grid has been announced and properly, fully announced. I will switch the screen in a second, guys, just warning you. Yeah, so there's finally... This was the last announcement for Formula 3 this year. I'll go and add another window capture and then capture this. This was the last announcement that was needed for this year, and you can go and check this article out on Dive Bomb, which is the website I work for. And yeah, so that's the Formula 3 grid confirmed, and the F2 grid's been confirmed as well now officially. The last one we were waiting for was the Van Amersfoort team, and they confirmed Villa Gomez is going to be there for another season. 26 minutes to go, and Hulkenberg is in 8th, I think now. I think that's an update on earlier. So there you go. There's the updated standings. And even in testing, Alpine are the slowest. Nah, I'm joking. No hate to my French brothers. Look, my mother's one of my family names is Fraser. Fraser's a French name. I'm French. Nah, I'm joking. It's probably like thousands of years ago. It's not like my German and Irish ancestry where it's literally like in the last like 20 years that they've been alive, you know. My grandmother's still alive from Ireland, and then my grandfather passed away 20 years ago, so 19 years ago. So yeah. But yeah, in case I'm not live tomorrow, which I should be, happy Valentine's Day to you all. I'm going to be spending Valentine's Day with my partner, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good Valentine's Day to those who are, of course, in love, and those who aren't in love. I hope you find your Valentine one day. And if you're asexual, have a good day. Have a good day as well. Have a good day as well. So there we go. I'm fitting all markets here. I'm trying to be as inclusive as possible. That's what you need. You need to be inclusive in 2026, you know? I mean, there's a lot of hate out there, but guys, you're welcome here regardless of what gender you are, what ethnicity, what religion, what sexuality, just as long as you aren't an arse. There you go. Gasly's had a big lockup at turn 10, and that's his lap screwed, and that's his tyres cooked. I just rhymed there. Poet, and I didn't know it. But Gasly's out on track. He's doing some laps, but as I said, he had a big lockup at turn 10, which is a very known tyre killer, because if you didn't know already, turn 10, it's a double, turn 9 and 10, they're a double left, and they go downhill, and that is really tricky to basically go through, because you're basically turning while braking. And in case you don't know already, turning while braking, if you're going downhill, is very difficult to do without locking up the car. So, and it's such a sudden that, you know, you got to be very careful. Honestly, like, the trickiest part of playing the F1 games is traction control. It is actually the anti-lock brakes. Having ABS off, anti-braking system off. So, there's Charles Leclerc again. That Ferrari, It looks okay. It doesn't look amazing. It looks alright. You know, it's Ferrari are just like, their car is okay. It's not special. The best one's the Red Bull. Red Bull and Racing Bulls once again knocking it out the park, scoring a home run, hitting a hole in one, getting an albatross. You know, or an eagle. Whereas some of these teams' liveries, they've gotten triple bogeys and they've been stuck in the bunker. The Ferraris is just a par. It's just okay. But some of them are really, really nice. I have to say, as I said, the Red Bull one's the best. Racing Bulls is really nice as well. Alpine one's terrible. Williams one's not amazing, but it's okay. Aston Martin looked nice from the angle I saw it at. I don't know why people were giving it stick. Cadillac looks lovely, I have to say. I really like the way the Cadillac looks. It's very stealthy, you know. And I'm really, really glad that they didn't stick American flags on it, because then they would really be fulfilling the stereotype of the American F1 team. You could just be like, yep, they're American, aren't they? They're American. I don't even know. Are they in any way similar to Chevrolet and who founded them? Because Chevrolet is actually technically French. It's not actually, well, technically it's American, but technically it's French as well. Who created Cadillac? Was it Henry Ford? Henry Ford created Cadillac. Okay. Right. Okay. So basically, there's two different Ford teams on the grid. There's two different Ford teams, because Cadillac used to be part of Ford, but now they're part of General Motors. And the Pope owns 51% of General Motors. That's George Harrison. Which song is that? Oh my goodness. Waiting on You All. Great song. You don't need no passport. And you don't need no visa. You don't need to designate or to emigrate before you can see Jesus. If you open up your heart, you'll see he's right there. Always was and will be, to relieve you of your care. There's Albon. He's 7/10 quicker than Sainz, but as I said, times are not that relevant. I'm only mentioning it because it's on the screen right now, on my screen right now. There is 21 minutes to go at this session, and currently it is, as you can see, Lando Norris top, then Verstappen second, Leclerc third, Ocon fourth, Piastri in fifth. So as I said, good day for McLaren. We don't really know much until next week, though, to be honest. I mean, for now, they're just trying to get their first laps in. It's strange because last year, I remember preseason testing, I was looking forward to the season, and McLaren ended up dominating, but it was still a great, great season in terms of the championship battle. But the championship battle, it was okay. I mean, I'm glad we had a championship battle, but it wasn't amazing. It was all right. It was all right. That's probably the best way to put it. I've recanted my ideas and statement about it. The racing wasn't good. Hopefully that's going to change. I mean, we've got less than a month until the opening race. 3 days ago, it was a month in Australia. And F2 and F3 will be on as well. I'm so looking forward to that. I can't wait to write about the feeder series again, because I'm a feeder series journalist, if you didn't know already. As you guys can see right here, if I just switch my window capture, I am a feeder series writer for Dive Bomb. So there's an article on Jose Garfias being converted Prima, Enzo Deligny leaving Prima for Van Amersfoort. Couple of feeder series recaps, and I'm involved in more of them, but there's a whole bunch of us, so it goes under the team. And I am also a massive F1 history fan. So here is an article on John Surtees, who would have turned 92 years old today. An absolute legend of motorsport and an icon of racing, and a man who is very, very dearly missed by us all. So that's some of my articles, if you want to go and check them out. I am writing for Dive Bomb, FIA accredited. They are a fantastic organization. They make some really good articles. I'm really happy to be working for them. This is not sponsored. I'm just letting you guys know that that's where you can find my articles, because I'm continuing my dream to be a journalist, a dream that I have pursued since I was 12 years old, guys. 12 or 13 I was when I started my dream, and Williams. Oh yes, I forgot to mention Williams have had a lot of issues so far. So the drivers are checking the turbos out, and you can hear them rev the engine. It's like, hey, Lightning, you ready? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, yeah. Lightning's ready. So cool. So cool. Um, so that's currently what's happening on my screen, along with the Mercedes being out on track. Honestly, I feel like we're really going into a nostalgic era of Formula One because we've got Gulf sponsoring Williams. We've got McLaren in orange, just like they were back in the 60s. You've got Audi back in F1 for the first time since the 30s, you know, racing at the highest level. You've got an American team with Ferrari power. I mean that's nostalgic from 10 years ago with Haas, but we have some amazing drivers which remind us of some of the greats of the past. It's, yeah, Formula One, man. We're going into a new era. The cars look nostalgic as well. And hopefully we can get a repeat of what racing was like in the mid 2000s, because in my opinion, F1 was at its peak in terms of the racing from 2005 to 2013. That's my opinion. Oh, and that is Charles Leclerc. His car is not moving at the moment. I don't know if that is planned. It's planned. He was doing a practice start. So Ferrari are all right. I don't know who's got the most laps in today, but we'll find out afterwards, because I think this is like sets of tires used. This isn't the amount of laps that they've done. So I think the more tire sets that they've used, the better, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Right, hang on. I'm currently trying to sign in. Here we go, live typing. Does this show how many laps that they've done? Please show me how many laps they've done. Come on. Show me the... Oh my goodness, Max. Look at the amount of laps Verstappen's done, guys. Hang on. What I'll do is I'm gonna uncrop this, because I've cropped it to make it easier for you guys to actually see. Transform. Right, let's see. Is that better? Let's have a look. Let's have a little look, shall we? So that's how it looks at the moment. Yeah, I am going to crop the left a little bit now. Hang on. What about 400? Is that okay? 600. Hang on, I'm just trying to figure out how to show you guys this is the best way. Okay, I think I've got it. There we go. So that's how it looks at the moment with testing. So we've got the laps here. And honestly, Verstappen and Ocon have done a very good job today. They've gotten 100 laps in, which is wild. I think what I'll do is I'll zoom in a bit so you guys can see it a bit better. Let's see, is that okay? No, it's not. Okay, hang on. Give me a sec, guys. I'm just trying to work this out for tomorrow as well, because then once I've got this worked out for tomorrow, we're all good. Okay, and then uncrop the left a little bit. Let me just sort this out. Okay, there we go. I just need to make it a little bit smaller. And perfect. Right. So now you guys can actually see the lap times. Albeit you can't see me as well. But it's okay. Yeah, there we go. Right, that's probably, yeah, that's the best we're going to get. So that shows you guys how many laps have been done. So Verstappen has done 128 laps today, which is wild. Just think about that. He's done 2.5 race distances. Wild. Albon's done 67 laps. So is Hulkenberg. And the only other driver that has done 100 is Ocon. So if you do the math, McLaren have done 102 laps. Red Bull have done 128. Ferrari have done 122. Haas have done 108. Mercedes have done 77. Audi have done 116. Alpine have done 70. Yep, 70. Aston Martin have done only 35, which is 36. Is it 30? I can't tell if that's a 6 or a 5. Am I going blind? It's a 6. Aston Martin have only done 36 laps. That's not good. Cadillac have done 102, which is quite good considering, you know, they're new. Williams have done 144. That's really good from Williams. So that was what he meant by making up for lost time. Makes sense. And Lindblad's done 75. So Williams have done the most laps of anybody so far today, which is really impressive, and they're doing a very, very good job. So I think overall winners today would probably be Williams because of the amount of laps that they've got in. Sure, they might be 10th and 13th in the timing order, but their lap times aren't really that meaningful. But they've done a good job, and they're looking quite good here. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how Williams can do because they are looking strong today. And then on the other hand, you've got Aston Martin, who have had a complete disaster of a day because Lance Stroll has had, I think, mechanical problems of some sorts. Oh, big lock up there from Ocon. And now the commentators are talking about how Ocon basically got a public bollocking from Ayo Komatsu, going, dude, you got beat by a rookie. You literally have been Lewis Hamilton by Ollie Behrman by being beaten by your rookie as an experienced driver. Although it's nowhere near as much of a shock as it was when Lewis beat Alonso. Is that okay? Don't know. Let's have a little look. Is that okay? I'm trying to figure it out. Hang on. How am I? There we go. I got it now. Took a little bit of effort, but we got it. We're back. So yeah, there we go. That's Ocon locking up at turn 10, just like Gasly did earlier. I don't know if it's a French thing or not. Maybe it is. If so, I hope that they get something fixed about that. Okay, there we go. That's perfect. Nine and a half minutes to go, and it's been quite interesting to see all the cars on track. My favourite one, as I said, is the Red Bull, although I do also like the Racing Bull and the Cadillac as well. And the Audi from the front looks really, really nice. It's just the side of the car that looks ugly, because there's just that little bit of red, and I'm like, not keen on that. But to be fair, at least they tried to have a bit of colour in the car, because I remember last year, everybody was just having black on their car, apart from Red Bull and Racing Bull. Everybody was like, here's a bit of black, 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 just to save some weight on the car. And I'm like, guys, Formula 1 is all about having fun, you know? It's not about seriousness, aerodynamics, blah, blah. It's about having fun, and whoever has the coolest livery wins. Obviously it's not, but you know, you gotta have some fun, you know? Anyway, Gasly's having a personal best time. See, what tends to happen is in the last 10 minutes, they just actually have a little go at it and try and set a quick time. As I say that, he's 1.5 seconds down in the middle sector overall. So maybe not improving. Although if he doesn't lose, like a second, he'll be alright. Yes, so that is the rumor mill was that Mercedes had the best power unit on the grid, but we still don't know if that's 100% true yet. We're gonna find that out, but we still don't know, which is, it's so mysterious, isn't it? You're just waiting for something to happen, waiting to see if it is true, if Mercedes are going to do exactly what they did in 2014, which is win all but like 3 races. Could Antonelli beat Russell? Probably not. So if Mercedes do have a good car and a good engine, then we all know that George Russell's going to win the championship. And unlike Lando Norris, I was going to say, unlike Lando Norris, he actually deserves to be champion, but Lando did have a good second half of last season. But Max deserved the title, and if anybody disagrees with me, then I think that they are quite silly, because he was in a worse car, and he only lost the championship by 2 points. So there you go. That's my opinion on 2025 season, because I just realized I've actually not been made a video since the end of the season. It's been 3 months. I did try and make a video at the end of last year, but I couldn't get it out in time for New Year, so yeah. Here's Verstappen, and is he gonna go and try and set the fastest lap? Well, we'll see what it's like in the first sector. And the answer is yes, he's half a second up on Norris. Here we go. This is it, guys. This is the actual marker to see who the quickest is this season. It's obviously going to be Red Bull and Max Verstappen. Verstappen's going to win his 5th championship, isn't he? It's inevitable. No, Max is going to win again. McLaren fans are crying. Ferrari fans are crying. Mercedes fans are crying. Max is going to do it again. Curse you, Verstappen. It's only the first sector. He's half a second up. It'll probably be about a second up now. And my point about being in the 32s might actually be correct. Nah, he probably won't be half a second up. No, he's only 2/10 up. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, he's looking quick, but he's not that quick. You know, compared to Norris, he's not miles ahead of him. He isn't a country mile clear. But the thing is about Verstappen is you don't actually know how the car is going to be like on average, because the cars are so often built for him at Red Bull that he's always overperforming it. Now, will Hadjar break the curse? Maybe. And Verstappen was so good in the first sector. He was half a second up, and he's lost 3/10 in the middle sector and 3/10 in the final sector, and he's still second. So all of that just for him to not actually improve. We've got 5 minutes left now, and Norris is still on top. Most of the drivers are out on track. Hulkenberg isn't on track. Neither is Hulkenberg is. He's on an outlap. So out of the 10 teams, Stroll's not out on track, and I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 of the teams are out on track at the moment. The ones that aren't are Williams, Aston Martin, let me have a look. The Mercedes guys are out on track. Yeah, so there goes Albon out on track now. So I think everybody apart from the Aston Martin are going to be out on track. This is a replay of Leclerc going through turn number 5, and he's lost it a little bit. He's had to go off track, and that's his lap time invalidated as it is. But there's the Williams back out on track again. Alex Albon. That car does look like a 2000s F1 car. It looks so nice. It's so nice. It's so nice, man. I love it. The Haas is in the pits again, but the Mercedes is out. The Williams is out. The Cadillacs are in. The Audi is out. The Aston Martin is in. The Alpine is also out. Ale! Is that? No, who pit lane reporter? Who's pit lane reporter again? Pit lane photographer. His pit lane photographer. Is it Charlotte? Charlotte! I forgot which one of you was pit lane reporter. I can't believe that. Charlotte! Yes, I'm live. I didn't actually post it in the group chat, so apologies. And now I'm down to one viewer. Antonelli in 11th at the minute. We've got just a couple minutes left, and then I'm going to be going off because I have got 5-a-side in an hour and a half. So not. I realized, Charlotte. Don't worry. I realized before it was too late. You missed me doing my Valentine's Day message. For those of you that only Charlotte gets that. Only Charlotte gets that. Only Charlotte and a couple other people. Send it to General. Get everyone to watch you. No, because there's only 2 minutes left. There wouldn't be much point now. Tomorrow I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. And go, hey everybody, I'm live. Only Charlotte, my boss and I get that reference in terms of Valentine's. It's so secretive. The parrot emoji. The parrot emoji. Yes, the parrot emoji. Don't worry, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about another person. There's Antonelli with a big lockup in turn 10. He's now the third guy to do that. So it's not just Ocon and Gasly, the Frenchmen, that do that. It's also the Italians as well, clearly. So there you go. Yes, so 2 minutes to go at the session, and there is Antonelli, Big Kimi, Little Kimi, I should say. Kimi Antonelli, the ant, the insect, the garden animal, the curly-haired Bolognian, the spaghetti. That would be getting into Italian food. And I think is that considered racist towards Italians? I don't know. Verstappen has done 133 laps now, by the way, guys. That is absolutely ridiculous. 133 laps. Oh, that's no. I don't want to. Let me just see the timing. Let me just see the live timing. Stupid thing. I'm not paying 20 quid a year for that. I am broke enough as it is, okay? I am broke enough as it is. I don't have the money, okay? I don't have a job. Guys, go and rage bait Liam on his stream before it ends. I can see what you are commenting, Charlotte, okay? I can see what you are saying to the group chat. You guys are not going to rage bait me, okay? You guys can say, oh, Lando Norris is the best. Lando Norris is the greatest Formula 1 driver to have ever lived. Ayrton Senna's overrated. Jim Clark is rubbish. Imagine saying Jim Clark is the greatest racing driver of all time. And I won't care, because guess what? I know for a fact that you are rage baiting me, and that my opinion is a valid one, because guess what? Opinions in general are valid. Unless, of course, it's saying that Taylor Swift is the greatest songwriter to have ever lived, because in that case, you belong in a home. And I'm not talking about a care home, I'm talking about a mental asylum. If anybody says that, by the way, like, and actually genuinely means it. Sorry to everyone else watching me like to annoy Liam. Yes, they do. Seriously, if anybody actually genuinely believes that, then that's just sad. Like, Bob Dylan exists. Bob Dylan exists, you know? George Harrison exists. Paul McCartney exists, John Lennon exists, Carole King exists, Joni Mitchell exists, Leonard Cohen exists, Gordon Lightfoot exists. Hey Aaron, woo! The whole gang's in here, woo! And that's it. Came to annoy you. Well, it's not going to last long, because guess what? That is officially the checkered flag. Day 1 is over, and we have seen F1 cars for the first time on track, live. Well, I mean, apart from the Aston Martin, but sure. OMG Beatles mention. Of course there's going to be a Beatles mention. I mean, like literally the greatest band to have ever lived. Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison. Greatest band to have ever lived. The greatest band to have ever lived. No, it's over. Yeah, literally. Boo. Exactly. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you guys for watching. Not everybody's crossed the checkered flag yet, but once they have, I just realized you didn't even see it. John Lennon, hang on, I'm trying to see, hang on, let me have a little look. Right, so you've got Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison, the greatest band to have ever lived. Bye, guys. I'm gonna go now. It's been fun. So the final timing order was Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Pierre Gasly, Nico Hulkenberg, Alex Albon, Kimi Antonelli, Arvid Lindblad, Carlos Sainz, and then Sergio Perez, Gabriel Bortoleto, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, and Franco Colapinto. Least amount of laps, Aston Martin with only 36. Most amount of laps, I'm pretty sure by the end of the day, it was Williams, because Williams set an insane 145 laps. So that's me.